Welcome back to Destination Pro Wrestling. My name is Tony, and today we got some big news in regards to Jeff Hardy and his excitement towards AEW. And there's some very interesting things that were said in this interview that I would like to talk about, dissect what is happening, and all that good stuff. So with that being said, we are going back to video format this weekend. We were testing out some podcast features, and it's a whole thing that we're setting up for social media on the channel and for Destination Pro Wrestling. So this will be the last of it, just doing some tests with these audiograms. And with that being said, guys, we need to kind of talk about this. Jeff Hardy had an interview with the Gorilla Position, and this was during WrestleMania weekend. If you didn't know, Jeff Hardy was at WrestleMania 35 as part of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Obviously, he was unsuccessful. But one of the things that actually came out during this interview was the conversation of All Elite Wrestling. Now, as you guys know, we've been prominently talking about All Elite Wrestling on the channel because it is a emerging promotion. And some of you guys don't like AEW, even though you haven't seen a lick of their television show, because obviously it's non-existent at this point. A lot of people don't like AEW for the simple fact that they have a lot of money and resources and they could pose as a potential threat. But what actually intrigues me about All Elite Wrestling is some of the focus it's been getting from people in the industry. And this has obviously been pretty clear. At the Hall of Fame, Triple H had joked about Vince McMahon buying AEW. We've seen a lot of references from superstars a lot recently. And of course, it is no secret that Jeff Hardy is excited about AEW. In this interview, he says that he is excited because he loves the Young Bucks and he loves to see that Chris Jericho is there. It's so exciting to see what that becomes. So I can't wait to watch that first show and get a feel for what it looks like, how it's going to be, the longevity it might consist of. So yeah, it's always exciting for a new company to come through and see what happens. Now, a lot of superstars have come out and talked about AEW, and a lot of people have said some great things about it. Some people haven't been too positive. Mickey James had some nice things to say about the company as well. But now you're wondering, how does this relate to the title of the video? So what was really interesting in this podcast, or in this interview that Jeff Hardy did, he was asked if he would ever go to AEW. And I know a lot of people don't really dissect too much into these responses, but this is pretty clear that Jeff Hardy is being 100% transparent with the audience. And what he says is simply this: we'll see, man. We'll see. No time soon for sure, because I'm here for a while. But yeah, moving forward, anything is possible, so we'll see. Now, as you guys know, the scheduling for WWE compared to AEW, AEW is supposed to be a lot different from each other. And obviously, AEW is expected to run less dates than WWE. WWE is expected to have, obviously, more pay-per-views and more live events and TV tapings and all that good stuff. And AEW is looking at doing a lighter schedule. Now, this was one of the reasons that Jeff Hardy actually went to Impact and Ring of Honor, and he did the whole thing outside of WWE. And we saw what that kind of came out to be. We know that Jeff Hardy came back to WWE, and he's obviously working less events and less time for WWE, but it is still a lot of time on the road. And obviously, when his career does wind down, he could potentially be going for that lighter schedule and officially retiring in All Elite Wrestling. Now, the fact that he says he could potentially be going there one day is interesting. The fact that he alludes to that happening is very interesting, because WWE superstars really haven't been talking publicly about going there. A lot of public, comments have been made about, acknowledging the company and what they are. But obviously, Jeff Hardy is being very transparent. And this is a respectable thing coming from Jeff Hardy. This is respectable for multiple reasons. But one of the things that we have to really understand is Jeff Hardy is not only being transparent and telling people things that, they want to hear. Because obviously, imagining, the Hardy Boys versus the Young Bucks on AEW could be a very interesting thing. But what it really comes down to is this: the fact that WWE has a superstar coming out talking about saying, listen, one day it's very well possible and it could happen. Now, I don't know if WWE approves of this interview, but at the end of the day, Jeff Hardy is keeping it 100. And this is something that a lot of superstars have been lacking when it comes to media. Now, obviously, him being excited for these guys, they've all become friends. They've all worked with each other on the indies. Obviously, Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho has some history in the WWE. But it's interesting to see that this has come out. Now, me personally, on a personal level, I'm all for Jeff Hardy leaving WWE and going somewhere else because, well, one, he's not necessarily needed on WWE. And I don't think his run has been bad. I think his run has actually been really good. So, of course, the fan of WWE, me being a fan of WWE specifically, I think it's a good idea to see Jeff Hardy stay with WWE and just call it a career. I think he's done so much in the industry. I don't feel like he has much to give. But with a lot of these guys, you know, they you don't really know when they're going to call it quits. You don't know when they're going to end it all. And that's what makes this so intriguing. The fact that he's openly discussing this, you know, anything is possible. We'll see. Like, I love that he says that because it's true. It is possible. And a lot of superstars are afraid to admit that. But if you are Jeff Hardy, you know, at this point in your career, maybe it is best that you just call it a career. Maybe another year from now. I think him and Matt Hardy had signed another 1-year deal with WWE and 1 or 2 years. And obviously, they have the chance to go anywhere they want. But if you're the WWE, you don't want to lose the Hardys to this new emerging company. And that's one of the things I fear with WWE is that they're going to keep talent that they shouldn't necessarily keep. As much as I like the Hardy Boys and as much as I love them on WWE, I feel like their run has been pretty good. Obviously, being back in WWE, Matt Hardy just reinvented his look again. You know, if WWE could put them in some prominent storylines, it makes sense to keep them. And part of this channel, we talk about this news on a daily basis. We talk about the good and bad. And I see a lot of people spewing a lot of bad things about WWE, or they claim that I'm a fanboy of WWE. And I have to disagree with that because there is no such thing as being a fanboy. What I get to do on a daily basis is create videos and talk about pro wrestling and give my honest opinion. There is nothing about Jeff Hardy leaving that's going to upset me because I think no matter what, he is a great talent. He can fit anywhere. And a lot of people think you have to pick sides. You don't have to pick sides in this situation. Jeff Hardy going to WWE is completely, you know, if he's staying with WWE, it's completely acceptable. If he goes to AEW, it's completely, you know, it's acceptable. There's not an issue with that. I don't have a problem with a superstar going to other places. You know, a lot of guys at this point, they feel like you have to pick and choose. WWE is its own thing. You know, they are not pro wrestling. They are sports entertainment. AEW is a sport. I mean, that's the way they're treating it. That's how it could be referred to. You know, there's a difference between superstars and wrestlers. And the nice thing about WWE is they merge the two, but they're sports entertainment. AEW is wrestling. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You know, I didn't personally care for the G1 Supercard this year. I just wasn't a fan of the ROH involvement in the show. I think if NJPW did it on their own, that was fine. But I'm not an NJPW hater. I'm not a Ring of Honor hater. I'm not a WWE hater. There was things that were good and bad all weekend long. So there is no need to pick and choose between these promotions. And regardless of what happens, regardless of where Jeff Hardy goes, if he does go to AEW, it's a huge win for AEW. It's a huge win for them. And I could see WWE getting to the point where they don't want their superstars to go there. But should they necessarily hold on to these superstars? That seems to be my big thing that I'm just not entirely sure of. I don't know if I'm WWE, if I want to just keep holding on to superstars just so they don't go to the competition. But at this stage, anything is possible with WWE. With that being said, I want to know what you guys think about this situation in the comment section down below. Here on Destination Pro Wrestling, we're close to 20,000 subscribers. We got a lot of things coming to the channel, lots of different content. You know, we tried doing the live stream thing. We had some technical difficulties. It's not something that we can't bounce back from. You know, we're working on a lot of stuff here on the channel, guys. And that's the beauty of pro wrestling. Regardless of what you think, you're not wrong. You can't be wrong when it comes to opinions. And that's why I love this. I want to hear your guys' opinions in the comments section, because you guys have been incredibly vocal these last few months with these videos. Some of you guys agree, some of you guys disagree. If you could come with a comment that, you know, opens up dialogue, I'm there to respond. If you guys want to have that conversation, it's okay to disagree with me. But, you know, Jeff Hardy is excited about AEW, and he could go there, and he is not denying it. And that's something a lot of WWE superstars, you know, Jeff Hardy's got balls. He's definitely got balls, guys. And, you know, as time goes on here on the channel, we're going to talk about all kinds of wrestling. WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact. It doesn't matter which one sucks or which one's the best, because whatever you enjoy is the product you enjoy. So with that being said, guys, I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. And as always, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time.